Okay, hello. Good afternoon, my friends. It's been a minute. Hope you're all doing well. Let's see. It's been a minute since I've streamed, I think. Just been super busy. So hello. Okay, let's say hi to people. So who is here? I see Conan, hello. Oldster, hello. Rue MC, hello. Hola. Blood Easy, hello. Captain Mao, Abstraction, Turlade. Oh, Mr. Matt, hello. Mr. Matthew, how are you? Custom 3, hello. Bonjour. Abstraction Layer, how's it going? Mason, how many keepers have you assembled so far? That's a classic. Still that guy Jake, hello. Maybe yes, hello. Hope you're all doing well. It's good to see you all. Okay, so let's kind of catch up on things. So this past week I've just been super busy. I have some like pending builds, but we're gonna get started with one for today. And today what we're going to be building is the POLYGON-7 by DaringRun. So DaringRun is sort of like an associate of Win Studio. So they sent out this board for me to check out. And along with it, they also sent out some switches, but we don't have to use the switches necessarily. It's just like a recommendation that they make if you want to use them. But the board is right here. It's still in its packaging, as you can see. So do you re-dye your hair? It looks more brown. I think it might just be the dye kind of coming through more on the ends, because if you look, like it's just like my hair is growing out, so I think it might just be more apparent on the ends, and so that might be why. But no, I haven't re-dyed my hair since I first dyed it, which was not that long ago for what it's worth. So I dyed it like in early December or something like that, so, or maybe late November, I don't remember, something like that. Your hair looks strong. Thank you. I'm taking my vitamins, so trying to stay, especially in the winter. Actually, I get like really I get chapped lips, and like on my hair it's like feels weak in general, and like my nails also chip a lot. So I've been taking my vitamins every day, so to gotta get those B vitamins and whatnot to stay strong. Stroke it again. Save, hello, thanks for the prime. Pudsy, thank you for the 55. Wow, thank you. How are you? And also congratulations. Can I give you a D vitamin? It depends. D for depends. Cold, thank you. Fair. Okay, so let's check out this board. So this is DR Works, or DaringRun Works. They have done, I think, a board called the 70F is another board that they've done before. I didn't check that out before, so this is my first time working with DaringRun specifically. And let's see, so here in the packaging they sort of have like all the stuff that's listed. So today we have the gray unit. They have 5 different colors of blue, white, gray, silver, and green. I believe the white is coat, and the rest are anodized. And then we have 2 different PCVs. We have 3 different plates: PP, polypropylene, FR4, and alu. And then we have a foam kit. And then they have some recommendations for like how to build, but obviously it's optional to follow. They basically recommend foam if you're using a 1.2mm PCV, and no foam. For them, they don't like the sound of it. And then they recommend like specific switches for a crisp sound and specific combinations for a deep sound. Basically they say 1.6mm soldered with instead of a hot swap with alu and no foam and a crisp switch for a crisp sound. So that's kind of like maybe like an MX Black or something like that, or like a long pole linear, let's say. And then a thin PCB with polypropylene and foam for a deep switch, quote unquote, for a deep sound is what they recommend. But you know, these are just recommendations they make, so it's kind of like if you're new to this whole thing, it's like a nice guideline to start with, and then you can kind of change it up from there. So this is an interesting board nonetheless. And so actually, because of my lateness of getting around to this board, so this board actually arrived to me like maybe sometime last week or a little bit before that. I know a few other people have already reviewed the board, and so what I did was I went to YouTube, went to Instagram, whatever it is, right? And I went through the content that other people have made and listed the combination of switches, plate, mounting, and whatnot that they used. And I put it in, if you do the exclamation build command, you will see there's a link that leads you to a Notion page, and there it's like a list of the switches and the plate combos that they all use. And so if you want to look for their content, you can do that. I did notice most people use the provided switches, which was the KeyGeek Lumen key switches. They call it the KeyGeek LM switches. These are what they recommend for deep sound, quote unquote. I think these are these seem to be like this kind of switch, bottom out, bottoms out on the stem type of switches. Has maybe 3.5 plus millimeters of travel, and it's like a nice and switch with a soft plastic housing, so kind of maybe in certain combinations might sound deep, so that's why they recommend it. And then they have these Lumen Key Astral switches that they also provided all of the other creators, and these have a 50 gram 50 to 55 gram total weight, and then 3.5 millimeter travel, and these they recommend as the kind of crisp switch. And so kind of reminds me a little bit, the look is very reminiscent of a Gateron Black, but it actually has that early bottom out. So these are long pole linear switches that they have, and these they also sent out to creators. And so I did notice that a lot of creators used the switches that was provided to them, which obviously makes sense. And so I have a variety of other switches that we can try today, so that we don't have to use the exact same combos that everybody else used, and also just to provide some variety into kind of the reviewing and checking out new boards aspect to it. And so for that reason, I do have a bunch of other switches here that we can try to choose from, and we can also choose what mounting and plate or no plate, because you can also build this plateless, I believe. So yeah, they do some interesting layouts at good price. I like that. Yes, the pricing is really good. This I believe starts at $110 for a no plate build, so you can actually do PCB gasket mount, no plate as well, technically. And so yeah, Lynn says super interesting that they have build suggestions. Wonder if they do that on all their boards. I don't know actually, but I think it's kind of nice, especially for beginners. It can be pretty useful to have that reference. So this is the accessories box. Yes, and yeah, Pudsey, they offer all these new boards, especially a lot of these in stock sale boards, they all come with nice packaging, foam and everything. It's so nice. These days, it's a very all-in-one, all-inclusive experience, which is pretty cool, and it's so cheap, right? Boards like this, I think you would have seen it for $350 back in the day, right? And now it's $100 and some, so it's kind of crazy. Back in my day, you got everything wrapped in bubble wrap. Yeah, or this foam, the packaging foam, the white one. I have so much of this that I just use for random stuff. But yeah, if it comes in this white foam, you would be thankful that it came in nice foam. That and an excess of bubble wrap is like premium packaging, buddy. Back in the day. Now we get nice EVA foam, and we get like nice boxes with a very like kind of like almost like Apple inspired packaging experience and unboxing experience, and so it's all super nice. So board comes in with these two pieces of foam here holding it together. Old man yells at cloud. Yeah. Suzu, hi, how are you? Hello, I'm here so I won't get fined. Fined for what? Custom cut carry case with bespoke cardboard. Yes. That's the premium experience. Okay, so let's check out the board first. Whoa. Okay, so the layout is essentially a 65% with 3 switch macro cluster columns. What you can use it for whatever utility you want, and then they have these kind of plus and minus buttons. These are actual buttons that I imagine they do work. Very cool. Kind of reminds me of a Switch, I guess, like a Switch controller with the minus and the plus type of thing. Pretty cool. Like a Pro controller. And it uses the magnetic pogo mounting for the PCB. I can see immediately that it also has the magnetic the ball clasp, ball catch clasping mechanism for the case, so no screws required to attach these. So it comes right off super easily. Very cool. So yeah, and looks like we got our PCB gaskets. So I can just undo one of these and show you. So one of these daughter boards has already the PCB gaskets here. So they're little like dumbbell shaped sort of things that just kind of clip onto the PCB like that. Pretty simple. There's 3 hot swap sockets there for switches, no LEDs, and then there's a button that's for that plus minus thing. Very cool though. This is nicely thought out. And there's like a little piece of foam that just kind of pads that over there. Same on the other side. But ball catch. I see a 65% with ears. Yes, at least there's ears on both sides, right? So pretty neat. It uses those little pieces of silicon to prevent the case-to-case sort of interaction, to eliminate some of that extraneous hollow case type of sound from excessive metal-to-metal contact, what people call force break mod. And you get just like little cutouts here for different mounting. Like there's mounting for top mount, there's like screw points there for top mount. We have, let's see, for top mount we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8 screws. It kind of avoids the spacebar area, as you can see. So 8 mounting positions for top mount with avoiding of the spacebar area. And then we have this little button over here is just kind of slotted there. Pretty neat. And this starts at 110. Yes, it's I mean, if you've been out of the scene for a little bit and you look at this, you're like 110 for this. It's crazy. The current like budget friendly keyboard scene it's hard to compete with. It's insane. Yeah, so, and this is in stock, by the way. You don't have to wait for this anymore. It ships within like a couple of weeks. So then you have little magnetic pogo thingies for the PCB, just kind of clasp right there, kind of like a MagSafe. And then you got USB-C at the center, but rather simple. There are battery compartments underneath this, I believe. Like if you undo this stuff, I believe underneath this we got a battery compartment in between the weight part and the case. I believe this is like this tri-mode thing, so it's like wireless able. We can check the PCB first though. Let me take a quick look. So let's open up our boxes and see what we got. There's our wireless dongle. And then we got some hardware. We got some extra gaskets. Yeah, extra gaskets here and there. Yeah, I don't know what this is for. I'll take a look at the build guide maybe. But yeah, you have some extra gaskets here. Oh yeah, so these circular gaskets are for the side buttons. And these gaskets... Oh, these are just extras for this part here. These are just extra. So these are just extra foam pieces just to place under the PCB of the side portions. So these are just in case you rip something off or you need a replacement. Yeah, buying a replacement. It can be difficult. Difficult. And then we got hardware. We got our little... wow. So for top mount, you even get these PCB like little... No, actually, are they plastic? Oh, they're plastic. These seem to be like little polycarbonate pieces. But little polycarbonate pieces to kind of like sandwich, like go in between the screw, I assume, if you don't want that direct metal to metal from the top mount screw. This is a nice detail to have. So you get that option. And let's see, just some extra screws, I assume, for daughter board and whatnot. Just some extra bolts here and there. We got our Torx keys. So just extra hardware if you need it. But very nice. Plastic washers are quite nice for top mounting alloy boards. I can see that. Ooh. Oh, I ripped that. It's from here. Okay, here. Alright, so let's undo this. So we have 1.2 millimeter PCB. It's a little harder to open. This adhesive is quite strong. Includes some of the gaskets already in there. And then I believe this is 1.2 millimeter with flex cuts. Hot swap. Ooh, wow. That's a lot of flex cuts. No wonder they do recommend foam for this. Kind of Mr. Suit style, like very perky almost. Not quite perky, but a lot of flex cuts. Holy flex cuts. A lot of flex cuts. If you're into that stuff. I'm not into flex cuts that much, but that's just me. No biggie. We can build however you want. There are some key positions with LEDs, I assume, for indicators. This is probably indicators for the wireless functions. Like when you need to connect wirelessly, like it indicates like the status of the connection and different devices and stuff like that, I assume. So that's what I assume that's what it's for. I'm actually gonna put the little gaskets in here so I don't lose them. But that's the 1.2 millimeter PCB. Hot swap. I'm into you flexing on me. Yes, cool. How about you visit New York and we can do that. We can go take photos and flex on each other or something. That yellowed HKB looks different. We got more gaskets and a PCB here. So this PCB is the 1.6 millimeter hot swap PCB, I think. So 1.6 millimeter hot swap PCB. So there's our little points for our, it's kind of like almost like a leaf spring PCB gasket mount. The tabs have a little empty space cut out in between. Not quite leaf spring, I guess, because it's not as prominent. But I mean, it's like, you know, it's this part is not as thin, but nonetheless, still will have some extra give to it. This one has no flex cuts. It allows ISO as well, so ISO enter is allowable here. And we have 625 and 7U space bars. We have ANSI and ISO. The right shift cannot be split. backspace, you can split it as well. So layout support kind of supports almost everything that you need. And the pogos are already attached on there. So you have, you know, I mean, imagine you already had the little gaskets, but this thing would just kind of magnetically attach to the board like that. So super easy to, you know, no daughter boards required to actually attach that. So pretty neat. 1.6mm PCB. And we have our little gaskets here. Then we got our foam kits. Yikes, you and Diego, no thanks. How about just me? We got foam kit. So the foam kit, I believe, is separate from the $110 kit. Like the $110 kit is just the plateless board kit. They have plate foam. We have the PE foam. And then we got case foams. So we have two different ones. One for the underside, and then one kind of like goes under the hot swap socket PCB part. So we kind of have the full package for foam. So if we want foam, we can also use it today. But this is nice. The foam packaging and everything looks pretty good. And then we got all the plates here. Oh wow, this adhesive is like super strong. So, okay. So here we have an FR4 plate with the two side plates. We have a polypropylene plate, very flexy. And then we have an alu plate, not very flexy. So we got all of that. Good stuff. Alright, so we got quite a lot of stuff here. So we can sort of decide on what to do. Okay, so how about we should sort of try to narrow down the options, right? Also, hello, Matt. How are you? Okay, so let's narrow down some options by choosing. Maybe we can start with switches, and then we can start with the plate and PCB if we want. So, you know, I did see a lot of people use these two switches, so I think it might be for the best to skip these two switches, just because there's so much content out there that already has pretty much everything about these two switches with all the combinations available. There was one person, Destin Sheng, I don't know them, who used Cherry Nixies, Cherry MX Black clear top, and then Scoop Bar also used an MX Black on the alu plate with the gasket mount. I think everybody else used the switches provided, the LM Key Geek switches and the Lumen Key Astral linears. Could I see the back again, please? Yeah, sure. So this is the back of the board. I can actually peel off the... I'm gonna have a little bit of that more effect with the little rippling, but that's the back side profile. Is the back textured? Yes. Let's take a quick look up close. So it is indeed. Let me sort of it's textured. Yeah, it is textured. It's a very cool finish. I believe this is PVD stainless steel with etching. Yeah, it's PVD stainless steel with etching. Is it a weight or more of a decorative plate? I will say it doesn't feel that heavy. The board I looked at the specs and they said it was 1.3 kilos without build and 1.8 kilos with the build. So I mean, in fact, I think the best way to tell that apart is to just undo this part here. So let's see, that looks like a T6. So I believe the compartment underneath is fairly large. So I think the batteries cover a good chunk of that portion. So I'm going to think right now that the weight is kind of more of a plate than a weight. I would like to know that myself too. Wait, am I missing? Okay, there's more here. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws. Okay, so it comes off. Okay, gotta be careful with that. But yeah, so see how the bottom compartment has, you know, it has a daughter board and then it has the pogo with the batteries. I feel like this cavity goes all the way down. So I genuinely feel like this bottom plate is more so decorative than not. I can't imagine it actually covers that much of a volume. Can undo some of this stuff actually. So the batteries will just kind of come off, but yeah, I think this covers quite a bit of this bottom portion, but I don't think it's that heavy. I think the alu is actually maybe even closer to being heavier than not. So I do think this is mostly a little bit more decorative than not. Yeah, because the cavity is quite spacious. These batteries are, yeah, 2000 milliamp hour batteries are quite big. There's 2 of them too, so you know, 4000 milliamp hour capacity for the battery is quite a long-lasting battery in general. So this is definitely definitely kind of heavy. It's not adhered actually. It's a pretty easy install and uninstall. So you do wonder if I can probably remove the bottom weight as well. So the bottom weight I think is these 2 screws. No, there's more. There's I think all of these 5 screws. Or the bottom weight most likely. I'm actually curious now. Undoing this is just, once you start undoing something, it's like you gotta know until the very end, right? Okay, came right off. Has some weight. It's not terribly heavy though. I mean, I would say a few 100 grams. No, not even. A couple 100 grams maybe. I can let me take a scale. Okay. Yes. I appreciate seeing the teardowns. Yeah, no, I like seeing teardowns when I look at stuff that other people do as well. So I personally am very curious about it. So no problem. Let's look at grams, easier measure to use. Okay. So, oh, it's almost a pound. 436 grams. That's actually heavy. Well, it's not the heaviest weight. I mean, a pound is what? It's like a fourth of the board. It's decent. I mean, it definitely is steel. So 436 grams for the weight. But the thing is, in comparison to the bottom piece with the batteries, I think it's not that much different. Because this is 362 grams. So it's almost like a 1-to-1, let's just say. I mean, it's a bit of a stretch, but it's like this compartment itself with the batteries is pretty heavy. I mean, it does cover quite a bit. So yeah, I do imagine if this board were wired only and just had the pogos to the daughter board and it had no batteries, and if you could fill this cavity here with like a weight or something, like smaller weights even, it could be interesting because it would give you a little bit more dense, like a slightly denser board, and I think that would be pretty neat. But I think it's kind of closer to an all alu experience than not. So let's put it back together. Pretty easy to put back together and tear down though, so it's not a difficult assembly at all, I would say. There are some that are pretty complex for not very good reasons. So let's put it back together here. And this one. Okay, so we got a bunch of ribbon cables. I'm not a huge fan of ribbon cables. Just kind of, they get pulled and whatnot very easily. The nice thing about ribbon cables, there's for sure some pros, is that they don't get caught in some smaller, shallower cavities as easily, but they can be a little bit of a, because they're so thin, right? It's a little bit of an annoyance sometimes to like place properly. Like keeping this open and like placing this in the right location and connecting it. It's you know, just one of those little inconveniences, but it's not the worst. Could be a lot worse, I think. And then you gotta make sure everything lines up, right? So it's like, depending on the length of these cables, it can be a little bit annoying. Wait, did this flip around, or is this supposed to just kind of go in like that? Okay, I think this just goes like that. Okay. Oh, gosh. Okay. Putting this back together, just make sure everything lines up. I just heard a little screw drop. I think I have a couple of extras though. It's okay. Let's put it back together first. Let's see. So, oh wait. The other screwdriver. Okay. Yeah, they do include a few extra screws, so in case you lose anything, there's always a couple of extra pieces. Okay. Which is good. Good. Okay. So we have torn it down. We have torn it down. And we can now kind of come back. So So yes, let's go back to sort of taking a look at the build itself. So someone did suggest I saw plateless suggestions because not many have done plateless. Plateless I think is a good idea. Now the question is, I think my hunch, okay. So my hunch is, you know, I have a few suggestions for you for plateless. We got some MX Brown, so we can try some tactiles, which I think could be fun. We got some MX, wait, are these lubed? We got some MX Reds. We have some MX Black. Same thing, really. What's this? Any clears available? Let me take a look, actually. I got some Gat Yellow Milky Tops as well. Clears. Let me check. I might have some clears. Hold on. Although I fear they might be in the board, and I didn't take them out of that. But let me see. Where's my Cherry MX Clear? Tactile linear clear. Okay. Oh, I have some in the seal, and I have some in the I might have some clears, but it might not be enough to cover the entire board. But we can either do clears or browns for tactiles. I think that's the best two options. Clears, I just need to get it from a different board. Okay. So it's kind of up to you guys. I guess we can do a vote, and if you guys really want clears, I can get it. Browns it is? Okay. It's up to you. I don't mind either way. So, well, we can do a vote. Why not? Let's just do a switch vote. Switch vote. Plateless. MX black or red. MX brown. Tactile. Linear. MX clear. Tactile. I guess I'll just say light tactile. And then I have some others, like I have Gat Yellow, Linear. I have I think I have alpacas too. Alpacas, Linear. You guys can vote. How about that? Let's do it a quick vote. Lazad, hello. How are you? I'm doing all right. I've just been. This past week was hell for work for me. I actually did my time card, and like I worked like in the last like 2 weeks I worked like 100 hours, like 100 plus hours. It was crazy. Didn't sleep for like a couple of days. So it was busy. It was busy. Just had to do a bunch of work, but it all went well, so it was good. It's just been a busy time. New job, yeah. So I mean, I got employed like a few months ago, and it's just been ramping up now, so it's been busier. Ramping up with work, so. Now I actually have like some responsibilities, you know, here and there, so it's like have to stay busy. I wanted to ask you, can you tell me about the electronics, like the board under the switches and keys? Yeah, sure. I actually did tear this apart just earlier, but I can kind of tell you. So the case is it uses this kind of ball clasp mounting, like ball catch system to basically put the two pieces of the board together. So it's rather simple. It just kind of you know, goes on top like this and it just kind of presses down, like very simple. And it has these 2 additional buttons as well. And then what's kind of neat about the PCB itself is that instead of using like a daughter board or a direct connector like USB-C, it uses these magnetic pogo pins, sort of similar to like a MagSafe connector in a, like, you know, in a MacBook or something like that. So it attaches through a magnetic, like the magnetic elements are just there to align it, but it just aligns the pogo pins like that, and it connects to the bottom part. Underneath this are basically, you have the daughter board with the USB-C connector down here for if you want it to a wired connection, and then there are a few ribbon cables that connect, a couple of JST connectors that connect to 2 battery compartments. There's 2 2000 milliamp hour batteries, lithium-ion batteries, rechargeable batteries that are here, just underneath here. And then there is basically there's circuitry for, I think, a wireless connection as well. This actually includes like a wireless 2.4G USB dongle, I think Bluetooth as well, not 100% sure. I believe it's one of those like tri-mode connectors, like connection able PCBs that a lot of people advertise now. But yeah, so you can do wired, you can do USB dongle, or you can do Bluetooth, I think, wireless. But yeah, you have 2 battery compartments here for wireless, you know, for it to be powered on. And then we tore this apart and we found out that this bottom piece here, this bottom piece here is about 360 grams. The weight, there's a steel etched weight here with PVD finish. That one was about a pound in weight, one like 400 and plus grams in weight. So not a very heavy weight, but also not negligible. It is stainless steel after all, so it does have some weight. Someone, I think Matt and Zena was asking if it was more decorative or had an actual weight. It does have some weight, but I would say it's not like super significant compared to some other boards that have, you know, a weight that can be up to like a kilo and some more. So, you know, not too hefty, but still has some kind of density to it. So some kind of weight to it, and so the and the density of stainless steel will affect on the sound too. So there's that. There's that to the components of the bottom and the case. Is that helpful? Magnetic, haven't heard of them for a while. I would say don't worry much about the magnet portion. The magnet portion is just the alignment of these connectors. It's just to help it line up properly. It's really just electronic contacts. It's just regular electronic contacts between this. These are pogo pins. They just, you know, they just, the magnet just help it line up, but the connector is literally just 2 connectors just kind of like making contact like that. So nothing too special. But it's a cool idea. This was also seen like in the Neo Ergo, or I think the Neo 80 also have similar connectors like this. There are some other boards that I think have used this type of magnetic pogo connectors, so it's not the first time we see this in keyboards, but definitely has been more of a new thing in the past year or so. Yeah. Okay, MX Browns. All right, sounds good. MX Browns it is. All right, so we're gonna do plateless with MX Browns then. So plateless with MX Browns. All right. Plateless, we'll do the 1.6 millimeter PCB. Perhaps. And MX Browns, we got our MX Browns here. I think these are, what does it say here? These are MX2A Browns with 205, 65 gram TX springs and TX films colored red. Okay, so I can update the build command. Neo 70 has got the pogo connector. I'm not sure. I haven't checked out the Neo 70, but if someone else out there has a build stream or even just a build video or even just photos of the parts, it would be super easy to know if someone has even just a photo of the bottom side of the PCB or the bottom side of the case. It doesn't take much effort to probably find that, but I myself don't know if it does. I'm gonna guess, given the success of the Neo boards, it might. So let's update that build command. Where is it? Build command. Okay, here. Okay, it will be built with Cherry MX2A brown switches. These are looped with Krytox 25G0 with 65 gram springs and TX films. They'll be mounted onto, let's just do the PCB directly, plateless. Stabilizers, cherry clip-ins, that's fine. Yeah, okay. I'll pick up some stabs. So for the layout, let's do just ANSI. So left shift, 7U, enter backspace. So 4 stabs. So I think I actually had a set of stabs somewhere. I can use, I think. I did see, I was watching Alex's ASCII F stream because I sent the board to Alex a while back, and they were like, oh, did Diego not include the cherry clip-ins? And I was like, I mean, and someone was, I think Frank was like, oh, Diego, you know, like basically he kept the cherry clip-ins. And I'm like, well, yeah, because I put those cherry clip-ins in and then took them off because I had to desolder the board. The board didn't come with any stabs, so I just kept them because I was, you know, I had used them, and then there basically was no stabs included. I would have left it, but I figured Alex had his own stabs too. Oh, these are already lubed. Are these? These are cherry clip-ins. Yeah. Okay, we can use these. So I don't think I need to lube stabs today, I think. Let me see if I have enough. I sent stabs in the box to Scott. There were I didn't see any, and I saw no stabs, buddy. I saw no stabs in there. There were no stabs in the box. I looked at the box. There were no stabs in the box. All I saw was the keyboard. I blame Scott? Yeah, that's fine. I did not have stabs. I did not have stabs. What are your favorite stabs and why? So I will probably be using either. So cherry clip-ins are probably my favorite in terms of cheap in bulk. They're very cheap. You can purchase cherry clip-ins in bulk from like Mauser Electronics or other like big electronics providers. They sell them in bulk, and you can get the cherry housings and the inserts, and I think 2U wires you can also source through them, but you cannot source spacebar length wires. So that's something to note. You can purchase these separately, but and they're very cheap in bulk. You know, they're like pennies. You know, they're like cents in the cents region. But then you can purchase like 250 amount for very cheap. So it's very easy to get a lot of cherry clip-ins, and you'll just have to source your separate spacebar wires, which you can probably do so through other vendors and whatnot. So cherry clip-ins are very cheap bulk. One other thing that I like about cherry clip-ins is that I think in terms of tolerances, they're a little bit more loose in terms of some tolerances, and they're also kind of like the gold standard in a way of stabilizers, because a lot of PCB designs use cherry stabs as a baseline for design. And so usually you won't have fitment issues with cherry stabs in most keyboards, like clip-in able PCBs, and so typically don't have issues with that. So I personally like clip-ins because it's just kind of like a universally working solution, I guess. That said, they're not perfect. You do have to clip them, you do have to lube them. And because the tolerances are kind of on the looser end on some parts, especially between the wire and the housing, it needs a little bit more careful lubing. So in terms of careful, I mean just, you know, consistent. And so, you know, once you get that down though, it's fine. And they're not like the smoothest either. Like cherry stabs have a little bit of that like rub. So when you use cherry stabs, you will hear a little bit of that like rub between the parts that are moving. And so, you know, that's kind of like one of the things about cherry stabs, but they work, you know, they'll work for a plethora of builds. So I personally like cherry stabs a lot, just to have around always. So if something doesn't work, something else doesn't work, then I always have cherry clip ends to use. In terms of other stabs, I know some people swear by night stabs. Some people swear by zeal stabs, even I've heard. I personally use TX AP stabs still quite a lot. I bought a bunch, and I've kind of like gotten to the point where I can use TX stabs in general pretty consistently. As the name implies, they're indeed almost perfect, but not perfect. One main disadvantage of TX AP stabs is that the joint between the wire and the plastic, the plastic housing portion where the wire goes is not like it's not perfect, and so it's a little tight, and so it requires you to, you know, you've seen me do this kind of unclipping and reclipping of the wire on the TX stabs. That's just for it to like, so the wire can rotate a little bit more freely without an issue. So that's imperfect for sure. Tolerances are a little bit tighter on TX AP stabs, which means that you can use a little less lube, but you can also easily over lube your stabs if you just use too much. So I tend to just lube I pretty much don't lube the the housings at all, and I lube mostly, I rely on lubing the wire consistently to tune TX AP stabs. But nonetheless, you know, all you need is a little bit of like 205 or something, like, you know, a lube that's like nice and easily spreadable and consistent, just like inert enough to stay there for a while, and you will have a pretty good stab. And I personally like that they're clip-ins. Don't need to bother with the slightly extended footprint of a screw-in stab. So I personally advocate for TXAP. I know a lot of people don't. And a lot of other people advocate for Gateron stabs or Night V2 stabs, etc. So yeah, because that's just my take on it. That's why you get TX Rev 3. So that's the thing. I can't bother going back a version, let's say, if some people find some more aspects about a previous version of a TX stab that they liked. Main reason because sourcing something from before is a pain in the ass. Because, well, it's no longer produced. And number two, it's just hard to find. Harder and harder to find over time. So kind of a pain. I don't bother. I build a lot of keyboards, so I'd rather just stock from something that's available. So for me, that's being available is more important than the convenience or inconvenience of sourcing. And so if it's in stock, that would be great. Yeah, just gotta know where to look. But yeah. I mean, I know where to look. It's just I'm purchasing stabs in the sets of 50 or more. Like I don't buy 5 sets at a time. I buy like 50 sets at a time. So I would rather, you know, just buy once and forget. You know, it's just different scales differently. Because I also sourcing for other people. I'm sourcing for myself, etc. So I just prefer to look at these things once and not have to look again. Yeah. I also don't really love just like chasing after the new shiny thing, basically. So that's another thing. Yeah. So, okay, let me go back to some of the questions. I answered Lazad's questions earlier about the PCB. let's see. Oh, I know. Actually, there was a question. What I wonder is about the PCB. When you make your own keyboard, do you use specific PCBs or do you buy multiple types? It depends. If you're making your own keyboard, usually you can, if you want to use an already existing design, you can contact a PCB designer that has that specific PCB and that specific layout, and you ask them about the footprint, and you adjust your own design to the footprint of the other the PCB maker's design. That's kind of like you look at files and figure it out yourself. That's a DIY thing to do. In the case where you want to design your own PCB, you gotta learn how to. So there are guides out there. I think AIO3 has a pretty extensive guide on how to make PCBs. There's Design Atelier, or I don't know how exactly it's called Discord wise, but there's like the AIO3's design server that focuses on helping people starting their own designs. You can also go and check there. Matt and Sina Mod Musings asked, do you mod your own switches or have a reliable source you get them from? I would say I mod 95% of my switches. Number one, because it is time consuming, but at the end of the day, it saves me time in terms of the overhead of requesting someone to do it for me, and to kind of like figuring out specs the way I like it, and then getting them, testing them, making sure they're to my liking, that kind of stuff. Just kind of all that whole communication process and whatnot. Just kind of don't want to deal with it, so I just do it myself for most of the time. I multitask, watch TV, whatever it is, while I do it. So I would say I lube my own switches 95% of the time, generally. There are times I've been offered switches from a few places. Like most recently, I would say Tome KBD. They're located in, I think they're located in Canada, if I'm not wrong. But they offered me switch modding services before, and I took them on it, and they're pretty good. I used MX Browns from them on the origami TKL that I built a few months back, that I actually will be revisiting at some point. But the origami TKL I built with MX Browns from Tome KBD, and they're pretty good. I've used some other switches from a few different people. I've used I think Ali, was it Ali builds? Yes, Ali builds, ALY builds. She used to do switch modding. I think she still might. I did get switches from her before, and they're pretty good too. They're like lubed lightly to my liking, and they're pretty good. But I want to save money, so I tend to just lube my own switches. So I'm kind of weird like that, and some things I kind of splurge, and some things I don't. And switch modding, for whatever reason, is something that I just decide to do it myself. It's just easier, and I have a process. It's pretty fast. But yeah, it's still time consuming, but it's still fast enough. Yeah. Let's see. Do you need keyboard PCB that you can work around? You'll have to request people for files or like footprints. Oh, that's odd. Durock V2 till I die. That's fair. Durock V2s work perfectly fine, as Max and Onion says. Okay. Just going down. There are those of us who dare to use very thin coats of BDZ with TX stabs. Yes. XHD BDZ is another topic of interest when it comes to stabs. I personally don't use XHD BDZ. I know a lot of people who do and still do. Not a problem. I personally I work more easily with 205. It's a little bit more like pliable, more easily to manipulate, a little easier to manipulate with my brush. And so I personally prefer to use 205. I know it does shift over time and whatnot. It might require reapplying. But XHT kind of stresses me out. It paints a little bit. I mean, it works like paint, and it's hard to move around and remove. And I don't love it. It's just a consistency thing that I don't like. I didn't practice enough, to be honest, to get better with it. But I already was good enough with 205, and I have plenty of 205 to use that I need not concern myself with XHT BDZ, so that's why I don't use it. That said, I've tried people stabs lube with BDZ that work perfectly well. So I can definitely confirm that you can use XHCBZ without an issue. But 205 tends to be safer, at least for me, with varying tolerances in stabs. So I think that's why I use 205 still. Not to mention I also have so much 205 around. I also believe pretty firmly that most people are pretty bad at lubing. I would say it's just you have your own set way, and if that's not the way they do it, it just feels bad. So yeah. Giraffe V2 with XHT on wire and 205 on housing. That works. I don't like mixing two different types of lube for stabs because I fear that they'll mix together, and that kind of sucks. Okay. Sounds pretty good. I make sure they don't touch. Yeah. That's super important. I think if you're using two different kinds of substances on your stabs, just not convenient if you happen to, like, if something happens, you know, like they mix with each other, it's kind of messy. That said, I guess ultimately, as long as it doesn't affect the function of the board, it's fine. Okay, so stabs I think are good. We don't have stab content today. What was the Korean meta that Wildcat used to use a lot? Was it mixing 205 and 305? 205 to 104? Yeah, a lot of people will use mixed lubricant batches, yeah, because they want some of the more liquid nature of, like, let's say an oil, and a little bit of the more viscous nature of the grease. And so mixing is not a foreign concept. What are the advantages or disadvantages of plateless? So I would say advantage, at least for me, tends to be two things. Sound, number one. I would say number one advantage is actually sound, and then number two advantage is obviously feel. That said, if you're, let's say, comparing feel between a plateless build and, let's say, a build with a plate that's very flexible, like a light like plastic plate, like, you know, polypropylene or PC or something like that, the feel part is not going to be as distinctive. But, you know, if you're comparing, let's say, an alu plate and no plate, there's a big difference. And I think the sound part is actually much more of a prominent change when it comes to plateless builds. There is a very distinct kind of difference in sound when you do a plateless build. Probably just has to do with the fact that there's no material in between the switches when the sound propagates as you type on these, as you use these switches. So I think the sound part is a very distinct thing. Actually, I know a couple of people who don't love the sound of plateless. They find it either kind of like loud in volume, or just kind of like too, I don't know. They describe it a little bit better. So, but I personally like the sound of plateless builds, and so I enjoy them. That said, I think it also depends on the combination with what switches you're using, what keycaps you're using. So I think it works in some cases, and in some others it actually doesn't sound that great. But yeah. But I would say those are the two main functions. One disadvantage, I would say one major disadvantage of plateless is going to be plateless requires you to design, if you're a keyboard designer, or if you are looking at the design of a board, the disadvantage of plateless is that you need to have certain things to enable plateless. So for example, PCB gasket mount in this case, or PCB top mount, for example, is going to be very common on plateless builds, because the PCB needs to be held up by something inside of the cavity of the keyboard. So you need to have some kind of attachment mechanisms to allow the PCB to sit in a specific plane of the board and of the keyboard at a specific height, right? So that the keycaps and the keyboard itself are when built, it's all in the right place. You know, the design of the keyboard effectively changes when you have plateless. So it's something inevitable. There are some people who have come up with plateless kits where they basically use these little tabs of material, whether plastic or metal, to basically elevate the PCB to a certain height inside of the case, and just kind of held by those little tabs. They're just kind of floating in the case like this, like they're being held up by something like a platform. That effectively in tray mount, that's going to be little platform pieces underneath the PCB, like at different points. In those plateless kits, they just kind of sit around the PCB, instead of like attaching the PCB to a top piece or something like that. In the case of these like gasket mount builds like this one, they're using these little gasket pieces that, you know, basically elevate the PCB using, you know, like rubber pieces on the edges. So yeah, but the design of the keyboard effectively changes anytime you have plateless. It just requires you to do that. And so yeah, so on the design level, it's just going to be a completely different keyboard if you do plateless. One-minute ad. Yes. Ads. Oh, ads. Ads are 1 minute now? Oh. Did my ad settings get changed again? I'll need to review my ad settings again. I do review them every so often because sometimes Twitch changes them for whatever reason, and it's really annoying. I always opt for the shortest ads possible with the least amount of disruption as possible, like most time in between ads and least time of ads, actually, because I don't really care about ad revenue. Not to mention ad revenue is so minuscule, and not to mention no one wants to watch ads anyway. So yeah, I don't bother. I try to always switch it to the minimum possible, but you know, it's just Twitch things. Well, the ad didn't arrive. Yes, hell yeah. So that the timer at least resets and the ad didn't arrive. That's good. uBlock Origin. Yeah, that's I use the uBlock too for almost everything. Yeah, I mean, boards have gotten better at implementing multi-mounts, like using top mount and gasket mount and plateless and all these things. Oh, hi. What's up, Kiwi? Do you hear that? Do you guys hear that? What? What's up? Hi. Yeah. You want to come up? Oh, okay, bye. He just left. Oh, hi. Can you, like, either come here or not just yell at me, Kiwi? Yeah, come here. Oh, I see why he's asking for attention. It's getting to be that time of the evening, afternoon. Hello. Hello, sir. You want to come here? Come here. Don't leave. Don't leave. Just come here. Itchy. Hello, Kiwi. No hangout, just dinner. Yes. He's purring. You have something to say to people? Anything to say? Rubs my scent on everything that you own, and maybe cause static to turn everything off. So if the camera turns off, it's him, not me. How old is Kiwi? He's 6 years old. Good boy. He's orange. You would like Kiwi, right? Because orange. One orange brain cell? No, he has more than one, I think. He's always thinking about something. Okay. Alright, Kiwi. We're gonna keep building this board, right? You can stay here, though. Ooh, switches. My orange has maybe half a brain cell, and it's probably Kiwi hoarding it. Hack the system. I feel like Kiwi has always that like rotating beach ball. Like he's processing something always. He's a good boy. Alright. Well, that's done. Let me... Oh, look. Oh. He's like, what is that? Okay. Yeah. It's a baggie. And it smells like random plastic and metal. Not great. Okay. You can sit there too. Sit. Good boy. Oh. Careful. Okay, Kiwi. Alright, Kiwi, we're putting this together now. Do you know how to do this? Alright, let's try this gasket mount first, perhaps. If I can find the gaskets, that is. I put them around here and then... Where are they? Okay. Here. Ooh, little gaskets, Kiwi. Look at that. Don't need it. Okay. Oh, I forgot about switches here. I should put those in. Okay. So, oop. Oh, Kiwi, do you move the camera a little? Your cat looks nice. Thanks. He's a good boy. He's pretty well behaved. Just generally speaking. Not a very problematic fella. Okay. We're done putting gaskets. I should put on some switches on those sides as well. So these guys just kind of go on like this. Okay. I guess no foam is fine. For now. Chillest orange I've ever seen. Yeah, he's pretty good. I'm just here for Kiwi TV. Yes, I know you are. Kiwi TV. Lightning keyboards, that sucks. Kiwi's the best. Alright, okay, so I think that's that, and we can put on our case. Top. Nice and quick build. Boop, boop, boop. Good boy. Okay. What shall we do for keycaps? Do you guys want to see any keycaps in particular? let's test the PCB too. I think I got a Lindy here. You know, answer. It rhymes with Bud Dream. Are you sure, Mr. Kupo? I see you say no to that all the time. So, all right, let's see. Oh, these are F keys. Okay. That's an FN key, I assume. What does this do? Oh, end? Home and end. We have a redeem or hander bite? Okay. Hander bite, okay. Left control, like right control, okay. Ooh, it's very flexy. Okay, everything's working pretty good. Are the buttons nice to press? Actually, yes. I mean, you can hear it yourself. Maybe it's too loud with this, but. Pretty nice. Okay. You built that so fast. I didn't have to do stabs today. So let's go ahead and someone said hander bite. So hander bite it is. It's been a minute since I've done hander bite. So let's go get hander bite. All right, Kiwi. Let's go get hander bite. What do you think about the layout of this keyboard? Does it look good for you? Yes. I personally like. Oh, are you leaving? Okay, Kiwi's leaving. Bye, Kiwi. I do like the layout of this board. I think what's kind of cool about it is that the left and right are, you know, they have a kind of like a symmetrical cluster in left and right. It's not necessarily symmetrical because it's a 65%, but you know, if you take this off, it just makes it a regular 65%, and now this makes it a little bit more than a 65. Also, Kiwi just rubbed on me and turned off the camera naturally. A lot of static buildup. But yeah, I think it's a nice layout, and these little buttons are pretty cute. I actually really like this. Kind of wish this was a 60% with the sides, actually. That would look great. Okay, let me get hander bite though. Oh. I got my hander bite somewhere else. Where did I put it? I put it somewhere else. Hander bite, hander bite. Where did I put my hander bite? Huh. Must have where did I put it? Did I use it on a build recently and I forgot to take it off? Oh, no. Description. $65 sells better? Yeah. It most definitely does, I would say. Where'd my hander bite go? It's not in the box. Where's my hander bite? Don't have it on my display boards. Wait, let me see what layout it is that's gone. I used it on a TKL? That's a TKL. Yeah. Wait. Oh! I don't have my hander bite set. That's right. I lent it out to somebody. Oh shoot, that's right. Someone's borrowing my hander bite set. Oh, I remember now. I forgot for a reason, and then I was like, I'm missing more than the usual. Like, cause if I mount it on a board, I'm only missing that thing on the board, right? But I don't have my hander bite set. That sucks. GG. Sandy, I'll let you choose any other set you want. Flipped it? No. No. It's with somebody who needed hander bite. So they're just borrowing it for a bit. I just haven't gotten it back because of the Noire. Okay, yeah, I do have Noire. Okay, Noire is good. Noire. All right, Noire it is. Let me go get that real quick. Okay, back with Noire. Okay. Oops. Okay. All right, Noire. There's the novelties. Okay. Shift. And actually, I do have novelties, so maybe I'll wait for those. See what it comes out to be like. It's hot swap though. It keeps coming off. Wait. Oop. This way. Do you notice the difference between 1.6 and 1.2 millimeter PCBs? The answer to that is yes. 1.2 is definitely going to feel a little bit more, a little bit bouncier. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's a little different. In this particular case, for this particular keyboard, so this particular keyboard's 1.2 millimeter PCB has the flex cuts on the PCB, and so that one is definitely going to feel a lot more like flexy, bouncy sort of feeling if you were to compare the two with the same build. That said, some people may decide to remedy that using like foam, for example, to sort of remove some of that extra bounciness that comes from the flex cuts, or to kind of like balance it out slightly. So it kind of depends on the person. Yeah. GMK boob alert shipping from GMK to Obolo in a few days, Diego. Oh shoot, really? Okay. Okay. All right. That's pretty soon. That's crazy. Well, that means Novel Keys will also be getting it soon then. That's exciting. I'm excited to see the sets. Excited to see the set. I wonder where Blue Alert is. Slaps knee. What key set is this? This is GMK Noire. GMK Noire. Run by, designed by Apiary Keyboards. Apiary. And was initially run by Project Keyboard in the first round. And then it had the Creme version run through Novel Keys more recently, which was the lighter set. GMK Noire reminds me of that one Reddit post of that dude selling GMK Noire saying he only bought it because he loved Apiary. There's no reason to mention that in the sale post. Yeah, that's kind of odd to, like, I mean, some people just gotta justify, but I mean, you know, good for them. Hopefully they also, I guess that's to say they didn't like the set otherwise. Kind of not nice, but alas. If you're buying key sets, folks, buy them because you like them. Hopefully. Okay. Yeah, that's just kind of weird. It's like, had to make that point? Just say I'm selling because I don't want this right now, or I have too many other key sets. Like, oh, what's up, Kiwi? Yes, it's almost dinner time, Kiwi. But a little early. Only bought Blue Lure so Kiwi could have extra snacks. Okay, I'll let the CEO know that was the reason for your support. Speaking of Blue Alert, for those who purchased Blue Alert through Novel Keys as part of the GB, I don't know if pre-orders as well, but anyway, there will be a nice little surprise for folks who supported during the group buy. I will say that much. Thanks, Tyler. Yikes. Yoicks. Okay, I guess that's... Oh, where's my escape? I guess I'll put an escape on this too, because... Is it this one? Oh yeah, here it is. Oh wait, no. I have novelties. Let's try using some novelties. These are cool. I do actually like the Noire novelties. The icons are super sick. Do we use... I feel like I'm kind of feeling more all mono color. These novelties do look pretty sick, in my opinion, so I'm gonna use some. Maybe this and one of these. These are like that, I think. I like the inverse enter. Oh, do you like the inverse? We can do inverse enter too, though. I don't know. Inverse enter? Inverse enter? A free Mary's product? GMK Parasocial when? Yo, ban reason? We can do inverse enter maybe? Inverse enter with the inverse colored escape, perhaps. I dislike these hot swap socket. Hot swap builds plateless is annoying because every time you remove keycaps, actually even with plate sometimes the whatchamacallit comes off the switch. It's kind of annoying. A little less likely with plate, but still. Alright, sweet. Let's put the rest of these guys in the box. Put on the new Exo Boy? Okay. Sure, why not? I have it right here actually. Yay! This was sent by Mr. Kupo. Thank you, Mr. Kupo. Pretty cool looking actually. And then huh? What's that? Oh. Little snacks. Oh. My partner wants me to feed Kiwi some snacks. Kiwi, come here. Let's feed you some snackies. Yeah. Hey-yo. Wait, you're gonna give it to him already? No. Wait. Give me. Oh, you can give it to him. That's tall AF. Yeah. A little bit. Okay. Kiwi. Okay, Kiwi. Alright. Oh, it's all being blocked by him. Oh. Kiwi. Wait. Kiwi. Oh. Okay, Kiwi, look. Oh, he's so distracted. Kiwi, look. Kiwi. Yeah, high five. Good boy. High five. Good boy. Shake. Good boy. Other paw. Good boy. Get it. Okay, Kiwi. Yeah. Kiwi. Oh gosh. High five. Kiwi. Ignored. High five. Are you done eating? Kiwi Caps when? That'll be so fun. Kiwi. Don't ignore me, please. Everyone's watching. You're ignoring me. Oh my god, he just left. Kiwi. Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. Kiwi. You don't want this? Wow. He just left. He just straight up left, man. Wow. Fine. Kiwi, take this. Did it land? Oh, did it hit him? Oh. He got it. Nobody likes a helicopter parent? Oh, wow. Damn. I'm not sure how to feel about that. Sean, hello. It's been a little, just stopping by for a second. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. Alright, let's put some artisanal keycaps. Some recent ones I got. Maybe let's put this guy here. This is a cap from Mr. Level Caps. I'll do this one from TRMK. And maybe I'll do this one from Panda. Mr. Panda. Oh, that's tight. Okay. It's pretty good. How much bigger is the Bigu compared to Konga? Oh, you want to see? It's like this. So, like, oh yeah, I have the adapter that I had printed that I think Sandy designed. But yeah, it's a decent bit bigger. Not too much bigger, but a decent bit. Yeah, like that. What are the big boys for? They're literally just like paperweights. Like they're just desk trinkets, you know? They just sit on your desk because they look cool. So much resin. Yeah, these are heavy. They're heavy. Cute paperweights, yes. Fugu kind of feels like a massage weight. Like a little massager. A spiky boy. Konga is just kind of cute. This kitty. Yeah. Alrighty. Let's try the board. It's a Lindy, pretty nice. Any cool stuff going on with you recently? I've just been busy with my current job. Had this like big report to give, so I was just really busy. Other than that, like it's fun. I like my job. It's just been busy with that. I've had a few just personal life events here happening. But yeah, I'm mostly just trying to work hard and enjoy life. Been playing a lot of board games these days. So I just like, you know, get together with friends and play board games. One recent game that I really enjoyed playing was called Bonanza. It's like BOHNANZ or ZA. Bonanza. It's like a card game where you each player is like a farmer and you plant beans, and then you need to trade beans with other players. It's pretty fun. Yeah. I leave a copy of that in my car for brewery visits. Yes, it's a good portable game. So pretty fun card game. Really enjoyed it. Really fun. Yeah. So recently bought that. I played another card game called Cat Lady, which was also pretty fun. That game was about, you kind of like put a grid of cards, and there's like cats, stray cats, and what else is there? It's like cats, stray cats, and this kind of came off. Cats, stray cats, and toys, like cat toys, and cat toys, and like catnip. Basically, the goal of the game is to get cats, cat food. It's to get cats, feed them successfully, and then get as many toys and other things to get like victory points. And that's pretty much the premise of the game. Is just to get cats and feed them, and accomplishing certain like small missions to get as many victory points as possible compared to other players. So that's another game that I played recently that I thought was pretty fun. So yeah, I just been kind of in the board game phase, like just playing board games with friends. Another game that I play a lot with some friends is like called Spirit Island. It's a more complex game. It's actually like a co-op game where you are playing all the players together against like invaders that come to this island where there's spirits that side with the natives, and you represent spirits, and you have special powers, and you beat the invaders over time. It's pretty fun. Yeah, but I'm into the whole board game thing these days. So, all right, let's try putting this board and trying this out. Let's put the mic over. Okay. Sorry, it's like hot sauce, so some of the switches are like moving a little. There's the advantage of that. Okay. Okay, we can stop the music and try the board out. So we currently have a build with this is MX Browns on plateless. We have no plate. This is a 1.6 millimeter PCB built up on this, and MX Browns and GMK Noire for keycaps. So this is the POLYGON-7 from DR Works or DaringRun. They're a subsidiary of Wind Studio, and this board is currently in stock for sale until I think February 6th, first week of February. And that's gonna be starting at $110 for the plateless version, and then you can add plates, foam, etc. So this is kind of like the bare bones build with MX Brown switches. Yeah, but yeah, really crazy stuff. All right, so let's try it out. All right, here you go. Oh, let's try again. Good night, Suzu. Have a good one. Take care, take care. How do you guys like that? Green sold out so fast, but there'll be another restock. Oh, nice. That's pretty good. I think it sounds pretty good. Like it has a nice sound to it, even in plateless and no foam. So, but yeah. So we can try the mods here. I see that the focus is a little bit off. Those buttons actually work, by the way. These are actual buttons. yes, there's quite a bit of flex. I will say the PCB gasket mount with plateless is pretty flexy. I think especially towards the middle, like there's quite a bit of separation between the gasket points here. So I think especially towards the middle of the board, there is quite a bit of movement, as you can see, especially at the spacebar. So it feels very light. But that said, yeah, that's the plateless configuration. That said, it's comfy. It's like very bouncy, very comfy. But if you're not like a light typist, this can feel a little bit too light, too flexy. So just kind of like a warning. But I mean, you can always use with a plate. So you can always build this with like an alu plate or a FR4 plate to add a little bit of rigidity to the build. Yeah. The plus minus buttons go way too hard. I actually really like them. It's pretty cool. But yeah, let's take a look at the board though. So this is the bottom of the board. We have and a little engraving that says DR Works. This is actually a stainless steel weight with PVD coating and then etched. So it does actually have a texture. This is actually textured. As you can see, my very clammy fingers are sort of kind of like staining it there a little bit. But it's a very very nice, very cool looking weight. Very cool engraving, very cool etching. This is $110 US too for this all aluminum case with this steel weight and a plateless kit. You have bump-ons, long bump-ons like this. You know, let's take a look at the. Oops, sorry about the no focus here. It's a little bit dark, isn't it? Maybe I'll switch over to the overhead. So if you look at the overhead here. You have a side profile like this, kind of reminiscent of maybe like the LZSQ or the LZRE has this kind of like multi-step sort of side profile. We have slightly protruding like sides here, kind of like HGS, but not quite. But for the top case here in gray, this is a gray color. It has this blue bottom component. And yeah, this has a centered USB-C port that supports Lindy if you have a thicker connector. But yeah, very nice looking. From the top, it looks like that. Right, so pretty good. It does use this ball clasp mount, ball clasp system for the top and the bottom case. So it's very easy to disassemble and reassemble. So very simple. Just hold it from the sides and clasp it on. Pretty simple to assemble. It kind of has all the bells and whistles. You can also plug it in using a wireless dongle. There's a USB dongle that you can connect to connect this. You can also do, I think, Bluetooth probably, and of course you can do wired. So pretty nice nonetheless. And this is what the board looks like from the side. So yeah, it does have a wireless dongle like this one, USB dongle. If you click both nipples, does the keyboard take a screenshot? No, I don't think so. I mean, well, you can just program them to do something fun, because I think it's GMK VIA compatible. So you could probably program that, to be honest. So I'm sure you could do something about it, right? What's the default function? I think right now it's home and end. I think this is home and this is end. They just have it to like nav cluster stuff. Probably just a safe way to program something on it right now. But yeah. Yeah, so there it is. That's the board. You can take a look at it from here. That's for the thumbnail. And yeah, it's a very nice looking board, I think. For 110 US, this is a perfectly good board. Really, really nice. So I think this is an excellent purchase. If you're looking for this layout, this is a very, very good point of entry for this. So I would recommend. It's pretty good. Yeah. Now what? Second build? Actually, no. I will have to be going pretty soon. This will be the only build I'm doing for this particular one. And yeah, unfortunately. One round of Overwatch, yeah or nay? Probably not on stream. I don't play games on stream. I suck too, so. But I'll play Overwatch with you, Kupo. Do you want to play Overwatch? Overwatch, bestie, let's play Rivals. Oh, you want to play Rivals? I've played it like twice. Once. But it was okay. I need to get used to the excessive number of abilities, and I need to get used to the third person view. Just need to get used to that, but it was fun. It was fun. The only reason I play Overwatch these days is because 6v6 is on the arcade. That's it. The only reason. I never play comp. So I never play comp or ranked stuff ever in any game. I don't care for it. I don't care for ranked. So I personally don't care about the meta, all that stuff. So I'm a quick play garbage player, and only play 6v6 out of nostalgia. But that's literally it. Yeah. Okay. So, any other questions, concerns, etc.? When's next stream? I'm gonna try to stream again possibly tomorrow, because I do have a lot of boards that have backed up from not building. So I'm going to try my best to do tomorrow. I'm actually, the reason I also can't do a long stream today is because I am going to be going to, I have no shame to admit, but I'm going to the Genshin Impact concert in a few hours at Madison Square Garden. So I'm gonna go listen to Genshin Impact soundtrack on the big stage. So it's gonna be great. I went last year and I enjoyed it. My hopes for the concert are actually that they have more like regional instruments, like more niche instruments, like for example, like for the like Chinese music like influence stuff. I wish they had more instruments like a guchang and like a erhu and like this and that, you know. And then if they bring in like music from the other regions, which are influenced from different regions, I wish they just had more, or they had a choir, you know, like stuff like that. Like a choir would add so much to the experience, because it's like game music, right? So it's like the more encompassing it is with more instruments and more to it, like it'll be the immersion would be better and it'll be a lot more fun. That said, you know, I don't have super high expectations. I have higher expectations this year. I went last year, by the way. This year I have higher expectations because it's the only US concert, I think, the New York one. I think it's the only show that they're doing in the US. There's no tour or anything outside of like the New York show, I think. So it's like, you know, it's my hope that the one show that they do here, it's good. So are your concert seats based on a lotto system? No, I'm like on the way in the back bleachers or whatever. So no, not really. I'm not like a huge, I don't like shell out for concerts that much. So do they have concession? Can you roll for a hot dog? That'll be nice. Date me there. Oh, I know who you're going with. I mean, If you could guess who I'm going with, wouldn't it just be like my partner? Anyway, yeah, it's gonna be fun. I hope. God, I love gacha. I love gacha. Cable, this is just this is just a Lindy cable. Lindy cable, you can just look it up on AliExpress. But this is just a Lindy USB-C cable. I know you're in a private box, don't lie. Wow, I wish. If one day I got invited to a private box for a concert, that would be amazing. But I've never been in a private box ever for any concerts. I've done backstage work. I remember my peak backstage work was when I went to college and Aquafina was visiting before she became an actress full time essentially. But back when she was still like rising in the scene, I worked backstage and I got to say hi and all that. That was kind of fun. And I also got to see Dumbfounded once. That was kind of fun too. But that's the peak of backstage work, I guess. Back in the day when I used to do like media support stuff, AV stuff. But yeah, that was like a long time ago. All right, folks. Let's see if anybody else is streaming, but let's wrap it up here for now. And let's see. So, is anybody streaming today? It is a Saturday afternoon, so I don't see any keyboard folks today. But I do see Mr. Bistro MC doing a Farmathon Day 11. It's like a subathon, but only Osu if you want to just go see Osu playing. I have my friend Franco Fragno doing some Marvel Rivals. I don't follow many other people, but if you want to see anyone else, I think that's it. Nobody streams keyboards anymore? Oh, sad. I'll try to do more then, okay? I'll try to do more. Picturing Diego in the studio with Dumbfounded recording ad-libs. Yo. Anyway, let's go raid BTMC. I sometimes raid him and say hi because he recognizes me, so yeah, just say hi to him. Support him playing Osu. Make him mistakes. Alright, folks. I'll wrap it up here, but I hope you guys enjoyed the DR works, the DaringRun POLYGON-7. Pretty nice. I think the next board I'll be building will be the next two boards I have to build. I think are the Keybay Tech the base. I think it's a 75%. That's also coming to Keybay Tech, a vendor based in Toronto in Canada. And then I got a Type K build in the works with a client, actually with a friend of mine. And then there is the Synovia from Bion. I think I have to build that too pretty soon. So I'll catch you guys later, but take care. I hope you guys had fun, but I hope you guys all have a great and amazing rest of your weekend. Take it easy, folks. For those in the East Coast, have a good dinner. And the rest of you, bye-bye. Take care. Bye.